This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, Episode number 3643. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. Gotta hit a button, Mike. On today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Clap, clap, drinkity drunk. All right, here we go. We go to St. Paul, Minnesota for a woman who walked into Target with a golf club. Meanwhile, Tennessee police pull over a drunk driver, and in his car, basically, there was a mini pub. We go to Canada for a man rollerblading around Victoria swinging a hockey stick. A carjacker learns his stupidity by the car he did pick. And JetBlue passengers are surprised to learn that all the JetBlue employees, they went home at the airport. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, a recent survey revealed that 1 in 5 people, or 20% of us, have eaten food out of the trash, meaning the 20% of us have technically eaten trash. Now, sadly, I am part of that 20%. Not recently, mind you, but for about the first year of my radio career, almost all of my meals began in a trash can or dumpster. I wish I was joking. By the way, 18% of people have eaten while pooping. Now, I have not done that one. I've also never eaten roadkill, as far as I know. Now, if you have a hankering for some roadkill, good news, the state of Wyoming has your back. They now have an app that makes it easier to claim roadside carcasses. See, dreams do come true. The only stipulation that they have is that you can only claim roadkill from non-interstate roads, which sucks because everyone knows that the tastiest critters are the ones on the interstate. Now, sure, some people eat trash, some people eat roadkill, but I reserve judgment for those vagrants, those people that steal and eat other people's food. You know who I'm talking about. You bring some leftovers in from home, you take it into work, and then someone else decides to eat your food, and it happens more than it should. That is for sure. And chances are, it's either happened to you or you've done it to someone else. In that case, few things are more humiliating than getting busted eating someone else's food by that person while you're at work. And that's what we want to talk about today. Those undignified occasions regarding your choice of food or how much food or maybe how you even got your food, whatever. Today, we want to know What is your I'm not proud food moment?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
9 KISW. All the Charles, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3643. What a large and a charge program we have today. Oh, yeah. Guaranteed future repeat on this lovely Wednesday. Sunny return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find stories in the news of people doing bad things.
Yeah, that is correct.
And you dig and it takes hours.
Like I said, I have staff, international staff, over 40 people, constantly searching just to find bad people in an otherwise perfect
Sometimes you only have two. You know what I mean? You only have two. You need 3 stories. But you bring us 3 stories every week. They all suck. It's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which party involved here sucks the least. How are we looking this week on Who Sucks Less?
I best describe this as this week will be touching.
It will be touching.
Yeah.
Oh, touching.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think that's
like
good.
Heartstrings?
I did not say it was good.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
said it's going to be touching, yes.
Yeah, okay. Who Sucks Less coming up. Of course, we'll be on the Odyssey app exclusively for more Men's Room as we do every Monday through Friday at 6. The Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app. If you haven't checked that out, please do so. Download the Odyssey app. It's absolutely free. There are, honest to God, hundreds of channels on there. You can download the Men's Room Daily Podcast and listen to any of our show if you happen to miss it. Hell, if you're out of town and you just want to listen to our show because the radio wherever you are sucks, you can do that with the Odyssey app. And then, of course, there is the Men's Room Happy Hour channel, which goes live at 6 o'clock Monday through Friday. That is more Men's Room with an X-rated twist. As we typically, like last night, we got hammered.
Yeah, pretty much that was it.
I'm not even sure what we talked about. We just, Steve and I decided...
Just talking about the weekend?
Yeah. Whatever we did.
I don't know.
We just kind of hung out and shot it. So
Got drunk, went home, kept drinking.
Acted like we weren't drunk by the time we got home.
Yeah.
Looked at beakers.
I thought it was a shot glass. I did not realize it was a beaker. But either way, it held my liquid just fine, Ted.
Keep in mind, this is an adult-only segment as far as what we do here, so we'd appreciate it if you get the kids out of the room or out of the car. Don't listen to it then if you can, but it only goes live at 6 o'clock, so hopefully you can join us today for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And today we're going to talk about food. And there's a lot of different aspects to this question as far as how it relates to you personally. There are situations with food that you are not proud of.
Sure.
Without question. There's all kinds of things that maybe have happened to you where I don't know if you've ever been with someone who actually threw up at dinner at some point in time. I have seen that movie before where someone got extremely sick, sitting at the table, and threw up all over the table. Now,
just at a restaurant.
No, it happened to be one of my siblings who was younger, but I mean, still, it was a family dinner,
right?
And just threw up and the food was on the table. That's another thing you have to remember. This was a small enough dinner where the kids did not sit at the kids' table, which was kind of one of the things when families got together when I was younger. At the table, and when I say this went everywhere, it went everywhere. It was almost like she was holding it in, and it just blew. And when I say it blew, I mean it blew on the people who were sitting across from us, our neighbors, the Simlers. It blew on the equal-aged son of theirs was sitting beside her because she continued to throw up. Dinner was...
Throwing up as a kid is tough.
It is,
They
man.
just can't, you just can't, like, I remember, like, as an adult, you know to get up or whatever, but kids are just like, oh, I'm just going to puke.
But you have to remember,
because they don't seem certain of it. You know, they'll tell you that they feel sick. Anyone else, you just say, dude, I got to puke, right? And you'll excuse yourself. Kids, they may or may not say anything. They just sit there looking like they don't feel good, and then all at once, bleh! Like, why did you not say anything?
Sure. Ted, we brought about talked about the fact that you've done the Heimlich a couple times on people. Yeah. If you're in that situation and you were not chewing your food properly, or you got your food stuck or whatever.
Or you keep talking when there's food in your mouth.
Hopefully, you know, if you're in a restaurant, it's not that you're not panicked, but it's also somewhat embarrassing because all eyes go on you.
Guaranteed.
So it's embarrassing because obviously, you know, you should know how to eat, but it doesn't always work out to your advantage in that situation.
And when you did the Heimlich, Ted, you know, I've only ever seen it on TV, but it seems at the moment that the food gets dislodged, like it rockets out of their mouth, right?
I think it depends on how far it's lodged in there and what it is.
All right. So you didn't get like a garlic knot flying across the restaurant or anything?
It showed up.
Yeah.
But I have seen somebody do it on a little kid and it shot out.
And, yeah.
Not too long ago, probably like within a month or so, to give you an idea just of it embarrasses me personally, just knowing my habits. So I'm staying in a hotel. And at the hotel that I stay at, most of the time, they have a little little grocery pantry area.
Yeah,
where you can walk in and get what you want. Let's just assume that I walked in that hotel with a fairly good buzz on. I'd smoked a joint outside. I walked by there. I'm like, I'm going to get a bottle of water. And then the next thing you know, I'm like, I'm going to get an ice cream sandwich. And then
the Toll House one.
Yes. Yeah. With the yellow wrapper.
Yeah.
And then
that thing is so good.
And then I decide to myself, I'm going to get some crunchy Cheetos. This is going to be my snack.
I'll tell you what, brother. I do the same thing when I stay at a hotel.
Okay.
Wake up with Cheeto dust all over me.
Oh, no. Apparently, I realized when I put the ice cream into the refrigerator, there was a refrigerator. Something occurred in me to get up about an hour after I was laying in bed. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm going to get those snacks. That is the last thing I remember. I woke up with a half-eaten, melted ice cream sandwich in my bed. The rest of the bed was covered in Cheeto dust. These are white sheets. All right. I woke up and it looked like I ate a meal and just left it and slept in it.
Right.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I woke up and I'm like, oh, because I showered the night before because I was like, look, I got to get up early. I wake up and the whole entire bed is covered in Cheeto dust and chocolate and ice cream. And I'm 52 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? I slept in it. It's in my hair. It's on my shoulder. I had ice cream chunks. Like, I don't know how I did it, but I sleep with my arm underneath the pillow. I had it in my hair. Underneath my armpits. I had it underneath my armpits. There was chocolate lodged in a crease in my neck and my collarbone. When I woke up, I'm like, I don't remember even doing
How messed up were you, man?
I don't remember eating any of it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
You must have laid down and been like, I'll just eat it laying down.
I don't know that you ate any of it based on that much being there.
That's what I'm saying, because it melted. And when I say it melted, the whole damn thing melted. And thank God it wasn't like a regular brown ice cream sandwich, with a soft shell. Because the cookie kind of stayed intact. Yeah. It didn't spread out as much.
Did you eat it?
What was gone? No, I mean, it was so... I don't know how many bites I took because so much was...
No, you said the cookie was intact. Did you eat it the next day?
No.
I would have.
No, and there were two of them.
You would at least try it, right?
I
mean, you might not need the whole thing, but I'm going to take a bite of this cookie.
Cookie seems okay.
And there's Cheeto crumbs everywhere. Like, I don't know how in the hell I slept. I must have just absolutely was wiped out. I don't know. But I woke up and I was like... This is not good.
Right.
So, I mean, it's one of those situations. Last time I stripped a bed like that was when I accidentally crapped myself in a hotel room. This is the second time in my adult life that I've stripped the bed.
Same hotel?
Different hotel.
Okay, good.
The first time was like on a honeymoon or something. This was like a month ago that I woke up in this situation. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. So, of course, the first thing I do is I run downstairs and man, I am not the best at this. I try to leave a tip for the people who come in and take care of everything. I ran downstairs. They didn't have an ATM, but there was a bank across the street. So I literally walked across the street to their outdoor ATM that they had on their drive-thru, got $100 out, came back, put $40 on the bed, stripped the whole bed because I didn't know what else to do. And I was just like, I just wrote a note that said, because they leave you the pen and the pad. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just
sorry.
I mean, it's a hotel room.
But I kept waiting.
It's not blood. It's not semen.
And it's not poop.
It's right. It's not poop. It's not a bodily fluid. It's some ice cream and some Cheetos.
They just think you're a slob, but you're not disgusting.
Right.
The poop on the sheets, on the other hand, that you had to write sorry like 15 times.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really, really deeply embarrassed sorry.
But I mean, I got in the shower, and as soon as I got in the shower, I looked down and I realized, man, I had a lot of Cheeto dust in my hair. And like when I put my head under there, like I looked down and everything turned orange real quick. I'm like, oh my God, like it must have been on my back. I couldn't see it.
Right.
Like I kind of just looked in the mirror and kind of cleaned off what was in front of me. And then I jumped in the shower, man. I'm just like, oh my God, like I am. And then when I pulled the sheet back, I was like, oh, it's all over the top sheet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the ice cream has melted down into the pad when I lifted up the sheet. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, like, oh my God. And then I didn't want to strip the sheet because I didn't want the maid service to come in and see that the stain had gone through.
So you left the sheet on?
Yes. So I kept looking at my receipt.
But they're still going to see the stain on the mattress pad when they pull the sheet off.
Yes. I wanted that to be their surprise, not like what happened.
I would have left it on.
Because it would explain what kind of happened with the sheet on. If the sheet's off, you're like, what is that?
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Right.
I'm not sure what that is. So that's how I logically, decided to leave the sheet on. But
okay.
I mean, but I walked out of there just like, oh my God, like what is going on with me? Like that was
weed and alcohol.
That was not a proud moment.
Was it early when you went into the hotel?
I had gone to bed fairly early. Yeah, I typically don't stay out that late. That's what I'm saying. I probably got in there by 9:30 or 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I've stayed at a hotel, gotten back to the hotel room around 2 or 3, have like barely any recollection of buying Cheetos. Mm-hmm. But same thing, like the next day you wake up and it's like I'm in bed, but there's like some Cheetos on the floor. Like what the hell happened? But then we had to get up the next morning to go somewhere, and it's the same guy. Good morning. Hey man, how were the Cheetos? And I'm like, I stood here and talked to you about Cheetos for a while. He's like, you were very excited about the Cheetos, sir.
Here's the weird stats. They unite us all. Or 20% of us at least. 1 in 5 people admit they've eaten food out of the trash before.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of this.
Mike, have you eaten out of the trash?
I've done it.
Even a little as a yes.
Yeah.
Don't try to. But you have. Ted, I know you. Was it Chinese? You had some story, cracks me up every time. Like your roommate had. Like
that one wasn't in the trash. We had a party. Right, we had a party in the fall. So the house I'm living in, everybody's going to Hopkins.
Right.
So nobody had been there over the summer except me and Dan. So we have this party, and the next morning I go, hey, man, sorry, I ate your Chinese food last night. He's like, what Chinese food? Your Chinese food in the fridge. I ate it. And he's like, dude, that was from May.
Oh, my God, man.
I can't believe you didn't
It
get
was
sick.
that many months
I cannot believe you didn't get sick.
I know. But when I was working and starting radio, I mean, I just didn't have money.
Right.
So I remember Burris, there was a place we liked that had Eddie's. And famous for their breakfast sandwiches. I remember getting up one morning like 5:30. So I got to go work 6 a.m. on a Saturday. And in his trash was half an Eddie's. I ate it.
Yeah. Well, I still think the best story as far as just like not proud food moment was the dine and dash at the Towson Diner.
Oh, that one should have worked.
Well, okay, so...
I mean, in theory, it should always work, but it just doesn't. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
So what did you get again?
Oh, man, we did it up. We got, I can't remember if we got soup or salad, but we got like mozzarella sticks, potato skins. I got a bacon cheeseburger. Oh, we must have got wings. Mm-hmm. Right. So the problem is this diner's 24 hours, but the parking lot is like a U.
Yeah.
So we're parked on the one side, but to get out, we got to go all the way around the back. So they probably were on to us. But me and Will, literally, I mean, I can't explain. We don't have money.
But the plan was to go eat and just...
that was the plan the whole time.
How are you going to get out? Like one person individually goes out, or you both walk out at the same time? Like, did you have a plan?
Well, I gave him a lids card.
Right.
So it seemed like a credit card. Like, let's lay this down and go out there and just leave.
Lids being a hat store.
Yeah. If you remember the mall and lids, I'm sure there's still lids.
It's such a clever...
Like, I don't have a credit card. Like I'm saying, you got to keep on. I don't have a credit card. I don't have any money. But we're starving.
Right.
Like, I don't even know how we afforded to get drunk that day. So anyhow, right, we leave the lids card. They're and I'm like, come on. We take off. As we're getting to the car, they're already kind of on to us. So I pull out. At this point, I realize I got to go all the way around the place. Then I come out, and there's one cook there, and he's like kind of standing in the way. I just gunned it. He jumped out of the way.
I can't believe you were going to just hit this dude with the car.
Look, it was a game time decision. Luckily, I was correct. He flinched.
Did they call your dad or something?
Right, so this is the bad part of the story. It's like 2 weeks later, Will and I, right, because I'm driving my dad's car, his license plates. So me and Will are tailgating a Maryland game, and here comes my dad, right? And he's one of those evil people. Like, I mean, you've never seen him this happy because he knows he has something. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, Daddy, Will, you guys like potato skins? Goddamn right, Mr. Smith. Goddamn right, Dad, we love potato skins. You guys like chicken wings? Yeah. What about bacon cheeseburgers? You know what's weird? Will and I just ate this. He's like, I know. They mailed me the check.
Oh no.
So then it was like $80-some. Right. No booze, which is pretty impressive.
That was a lot of food, dude.
At a diner. Yeah. So then when I went home, like that Sunday, I had to walk in there and just looked at the guy. I was like, wait, you guys caught us? And he was just like, mm-hmm. Oh. I'm sure other people had done it.
Brother, you almost hit me. Remember that? I got in front of the car when you gunned it.
I did gun it. I mean, look, who knows? If he had to move, I might not be standing here.
I know.
What is your I'm Not Proud food moment? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Survey says 1 of 5 people have eaten food out of the trash. Our question, what is your I'm Not Proud food moment? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Vinny. Welcome to the Men's Room.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Hola.
So, I'm still experiencing the effects of my not so proud food moment.
Okay.
Last night, I roasted up a whole bunch of potatoes and vegetables, peppers and onions and whatnot, and put some herbs and some salt and pepper all over those bad boys, and added about 1/4 to half a stick of cannabis garlic butter to it that I had made 2 days ago. As the first bowl, felt fine. Ate the second bowl, felt fine. Woke up this morning around 2 o'clock, got out of bed to go to the bathroom and fell down. Just flat on my back.
That's not good.
Yeah, the food was delicious. I know, Thrill, you hate vegetables, but you probably would like this dish.
Well, I'd at least like the weed butter. Dude, you still sound high.
Dude, I'm still high.
Yeah. You sound baked, dude. You really do.
It's good at times, and other times I tried watching a movie last night, and my mind took me on a different path, and the movie was over, and I had no idea. And I'm still like that now.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I've smoked a lot of weed in my day, but I have never gotten that baked off edibles. I've never experienced. I've been high that in a weird way, but not like to that level of.
It's a body high, man. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, Vinny, I can hear it in your voice, man. You're just dragging, and there's nothing you can do to speed up this process. Like, you just have to ride it
out. Let me tell you something about the butter. Instead of just making it an old school style, grind it up and use simmer or whatever, I threw in pure keef.
Oh, so you okay? So that's basically hash.
it's just pure THC with very little green pieces in it.
Yeah.
So basically, it just melts right into it. And you can't taste it, you can't smell it. But instead of putting in, a few grams of just flour, I put in probably about 5 grams of kief.
Do you still have some of this butter left?
Oh yeah, I grow my own weed, so I have jars and jars and jars of weed, and yeah, I just have my regular butter, I have honey butter, I have garlic butter, make chocolates, whatever you want.
I might try your product sometime, man, because you are a speaking testament to the potency.
I think it would be really good on popcorn.
Oh yeah,
my daughter just did that last week.
You just don't have. If you say it doesn't take away from the taste too much,
right.
That just seems like that would be a natural.
I'd give it a try.
Watch a movie, butter up some popcorn.
What movie did you try to watch, Vinny?
Shawshank Redemption.
That's a bad choice.
Oh, when you're
that's a bad choice.
Come on, man.
Mood management, bro.
I know. That is.
You know what I mean? You want to watch like Half Baked, or you want to watch
something upbeat, man.
Anything, a comedy.
Wow.
What did I watch the other day? Blades of Glory.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a great movie.
You know what? I forgot how. Yeah, Will Ferrell just has classics.
He does. And Will Arnett, they do a good job. He and Amy Poehler, they're the couple, right?
They're brother and sister.
Oh, they're brother and sister. That's right.
Yeah, I forgot how creepy that is. The whole movie.
It's a little weird.
Yes,
but John Heder does a good job in that one.
Yeah,
that's a great.
So say that's the kind of movie. It's 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm. It's not Shawshank Redemption.
Now, in his defense, I will say I love Shawshank.
Look. It's a good movie. I don't doubt that it is a very good movie. I just don't know if I'm as baked as Vinny just sounded like. That's the one I want to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're that high, though, you make poor decisions.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
that's true.
Okay, I had 2 in the same trip on food when we went down to Vegas the last time we were down there. So my first bad decision was deciding to take a piece of pizza into the bathroom because I didn't want to leave it out of the bathroom and I had a long way to go to the room. So I just got the pizza, but I knew it's going to be a while to get to the room. I need to go to the bathroom now. So I walk in there and with the pizza. So there's a shelf above the urinal. So I put my beer up there and I put the pizza. But as I'm standing there, I'm going for a long time. I just got the pizza. It's piping hot. The steam's coming off of it. I picked it up. I put it in my mouth. I look over. There's another dude standing beside me. And he's looking at me while I'm peeing, eating my pizza. And he just kind of looks, man. You can just see the look of disgust, like, God almighty, who's this guy? And I looked and I'm like, are you Jesse James Dupree from Jackal? And he's like, yes. I was like, oh, cool, nice to meet you, man.
I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah, like, that's awesome. Same trip. Coming back to the hotel room, there was a plate, there was a tray of someone's room service that was in the hallway, and it looked like to me to be, I don't know why, because this is the Hard Rock, so I don't really think there's a lot of kids there, but it looked to be a nugget and fry meal. So I took one chicken strip that was still on the plate, and I took a couple fries and just ate them in the hallway. And I know it's probably on camera somewhere because they have cameras everywhere.
Of course.
I don't think they care that you're eating trash.
I know, but the idea of them putting the tray out into the hallway, me walking by on my way to the room and seeing that there was still a delicious chicken nugget there, chicken strip, and a couple fries left, I'm like, I'm taking that. Like it wasn't stained with sauce or anything. It was just
in that moment. I get it, man.
I'm
eating some fries off of somebody's. Same thing, just drunk, going back to the room, and I did not know what was under because it had the silver thing back on top. So I picked it up. They'd eaten apparently a sandwich. There's like some crust left or whatever, and I'm like, I'm grabbing a handful of fries, man, and it hit the spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is your I'm not proud food moment? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Alan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I'll preface this real quick by saying it would make for a great bite me.
All right.
Yeah, so I was around like 16 or something, which makes it such a non-proud moment. So where I'm just eating with my family, and part of the side dish is sour cream potatoes. And as part of these sour cream potatoes, it's just the color consistency is a big factor in this. So I'm eating, and I notice like, oh God, this potato tastes terrible. What the hell? And I finish it. Don't really pay much mind. It wasn't until after the meal that I realized I finished eating the end of a rubber spatula.
Oh, God damn, dude.
All right.
A rubber spatula?
Yeah, it was the same color as the sour cream. Like it just kind of popped off the handle. And I was like, well, my dad wouldn't feed me anything bad. He never does before.
Just a spatula. I mean, were you trying to work this in your mouth? Like, why is this so rubbery or what?
I don't know what it was. I was just like, it's with the potatoes, and yeah, it was like that consistency, but it's like, what is wrong with this thing? It was just so weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't be very happy with that.
No.
I guess he was just stirring up. Those are like twice baked potatoes.
Yeah.
So you take out the middle of them, you scoop them out, then you put them in a bowl, and you mix sour cream with them. So if you're mixing the hot potatoes and you have an old,
break off.
Right, exactly. I mean, I could see how that would happen. I just wouldn't want to. Then you put that back in the oven and let that cook in a little bit, and then you serve it.
But I would just think that at the point that it is in my mouth, and I recognize that this is not the consistency of a potato or sour cream, I would stop chewing it and spit it out on a napkin.
Right.
At least to see what, I mean, not that that's the grossest thing you can eat, but if there's something in my mouth that does not make sense, I'm getting it out of my mouth, right? Like if I'm eating a peanut butter jelly sandwich and there's something crunchy in there that's not crunchy peanut butter, like, stop eating it. That's just me.
What is your I'm not proud food moment? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Dan. Welcome to the men's room.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Dan.
Dan?
No Dan.
We'll try back with Dan in a little bit. Hello, Dale. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I was trying to say hello because I thought you might got my name wrong with the whole Dan and Dale thing.
Were you saying hello over and over?
Yeah, a couple times, yeah.
Okay.
So I was taking this girl out. Just met her. She's cute. Took her out to a nice Italian restaurant. We're sipping on red wine. And I take a sip of my red wine, and I don't know what happened. It just came out my nose.
Was this your first date with this chick?
First date.
And how does she respond? Obviously, this is awkward, right?
She thought it was hilarious. I was obviously embarrassed because I have no idea what happened. It went in my mouth and then out my nose. There was no laughter. There was no choking. It was just it missed the turn.
And how bad was the mess?
It wasn't a huge gulp or anything like that, but it was enough to go down the front of me, and thank God I was wearing something a little darker.
How did you do for the rest of the date?
Well, besides laugh about it, I just walked off and we just kept eating our dinner.
Okay, all right, so it didn't ruin the evening, so to speak.
No.
All right. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had anything shoot out my nose.
Yeah, unexpectedly. Have you ever sneezed with food in your mouth?
The worst.
That's the last.
It's
so gross.
Right, and it's one of those sneezes where, a lot of times you have to sneeze and you get, a 10-second window to do something about it. This was one of those. I have a mouth full of food, and the sneeze comes on like that. I mean, I couldn't even cover my mouth, so it's just, and just blow all this stuff. And like you said, over the food, hit my father a little bit. They weren't angry. It was just like, can you cover your goddamn mouth? I'm like, dude, I would have. I didn't know this. I watched my cousin. We were like 10 years old. We're sitting down to breakfast. I don't remember precisely what happened, but he had a glass of Coca-Cola and he's eating scrambled eggs, all right? My brother's about 15. My cousin starts laughing. Then he starts choking on his food, but then he sneezes and he blew scrambled eggs out of his nose into the glass of Coke. I cannot explain how gross this is, all right? But when it landed in the glass of Coke,
like such a terrible combination.
It started swirling around.
Oh God!
And my brother immediately starts barfing. I mean, he could not. He was so disgusted. So we're just sitting at this table. It had been normal, and then scrambled eggs were landed in the glass of Coke. And then my brother's puking. I thought it was hilarious, man. But that is one of. I can't explain it. But of all the gross things I've seen. And there's things plenty more gross than scrambled eggs and Coca-Cola. I cannot put into words how disgusting it was to watch these eggs like bubble out of his nose, hit this glass of Coke, and just like this stream of eggs across the table. Then hear my brother start retching up his breakfast. I'm like, this is bad, man.
Well, my brother...
That sounds like a weird combination to begin with.
It does. It was standard breakfast that he's drinking a glass of Coke.
Having soda.
Well, when my sister blew chunks all over the table, that was the dinner. It was out on the table. Like this is right after we said grace. So
right.
I mean, she blows it all over the place.
Amen.
And it was this baked chicken that my mom made that I hated. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but
Were you kind of happy that your sister threw it?
Well, it was like this, like like Campbell's cream of mushroom soup.
Oh, right.
It was this creamy, I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? I just didn't like the taste of it or all that stuff. So my stepfather was like, the hell with it. So he called his buddy Pizza Al, and he took off, man, and he came back with 4 pizzas. And I was just like, nah, that's great, man. Thank you. This is awesome. We're eating pizza tonight instead, so thank you for doing that. What is your I'm Not Proud food? She was so embarrassed, though. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I'm a big fan of chocolate, and I'll pretty much eat it wherever. And I was sitting in bed with my boyfriend one morning, and let me just say, like, he had hurt himself, like, earlier in the week. He had a burn on his arm, and he had, like, a scab on his arm or whatever. And so I was sitting there I'm like, oh, you look all better, like, it's healed, like, your scab is gone. He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So a few minutes later, after he leaves, I'm, like, sitting there and I'm eating chocolate in bed, and I look over and I'm like, oh, I dropped a piece. So I pick it up to eat it.
Oh.
I put it in my mouth. No, it was my boyfriend's scab.
No. God, man. Jesus.
Yeah.
Did you throw
it's
up?
pretty bad.
I mean, what is your reaction? Because it's in your mouth, right?
Yeah, it was, and obviously right away I knew it wasn't chocolate, so I just spit it out. And then, I started laughing right away. I didn't get too grossed out. I just was laughing at the situation, and that nobody was around to see it. So now I just have a disgusting story to tell.
But did you tell your boyfriend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I told him.
That would be the first person I'd text. Like,
I would tell him right after you kiss him, though. Like a deep hey, by the way, my breath tastes scabby. It's from you.
All right, kids in class used to pick and eat scabs all the time.
I never understood that.
It's like the booger eaters. I don't get it. What is your I'm Not Proud food moment? 206-421-ROCK.
Yeah, I get picking them, but the eating part.
Yeah, I'm not like pulling a scab off because it's a snack.
It's like, could you imagine popping a blackhead on your face and then taking it and licking it? And
Ooh, delicious.
Everything that comes out. Leave it alone.
What's the line on eating out of the garbage? So, like, that story I told with my buddy Dan. Like, that was just a sandwich sitting in the trash.
To me, it depends because I used to eat the donuts out of the Dunkin' Donuts dumpster, right? Which sounds awful, and it wasn't great. But that said, they would take whatever unsold donuts, they dumped them all into a trash bag. But the only thing in the trash bag were the donuts, right? So to me, if you're at a restaurant, so that's fine, because it only came in contact with that. And granted, that trash bag was then sitting in a dumpster outside, but whatever. But I feel like if it's a restaurant, right, and I dump my donuts away, and you realize that also in that trash can we've dumped out, say, chili or spaghetti, that's when I'm like, I can't do this, right? Like, I'm weird about, like, my Thanksgiving food touching, so, like, go ahead, eat the breakfast sandwich, I get it, it's sitting on top of paper towels.
But I'm saying that was, like, gross. But, like, I had somebody a couple years ago, right, you couldn't go to the restaurants.
All right.
So we had, like, a long night, and the next day we got to-go food. They got a delicious-looking burger. I got something else. But it was still in the container, and they just kind of laid it on top of the trash. And then,
was it half-eaten?
It was.
All right, I've done that before.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I get 2 burgers from Wendy's, right?
I had to text. I had to, actually, I didn't have to text. I just called. I said, Miggs, I ate the other half of your burger. And he was like, it was in the trash. I was like, it's in the container. He's like, all right.
Yeah, all right, let me ask you this.
I throw mine, like, I ate one, and then I had a half left. And I had some extra fries, and I just threw it all in the bag.
Yeah.
And just threw that bag in the trash. I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, I realize I have no food. I'm like, wait a minute, I still have another half a hamburger in the trash. Now I'm eating the hamburger and the fries and finishing that up.
But that's fair again.
There's already threw it in the bag. But it's a paper bag, but it's still in the bag.
Would you have eaten the burger, right? Still looks delicious.
All right.
Obviously it was. And I don't know, you open the trash, it's sitting on top of, like, tossed coffee grounds. Right?
So the burger's not in the container.
It's not in the container. No. It's not, really.
Yeah, I feel like that's where you kind of draw the line.
I pulled
because I've thrown away food before and then poured something else on top
just to make sure you didn't.
Yeah,
I pulled.
What did you throw away? Where you're like, I might come back and eat this food I've thrown in the trash.
Pizza.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Wait a minute.
My kids used to throw their pizza crust away because they cleaned their plate. They throw the crust away. I'd open up to throw my napkins away and see like 3 big sticks of crust in there. I pull them right out and eat them. Like, don't waste the crust.
So wait a minute.
Let me know before you throw it away.
So there was nothing wrong with the pizza, but you did not want to challenge your ability to not eat them later.
Right.
So what did you pour on top?
Damn, man.
Some type of liquid.
That's not okay, Ted.
Well, that's what I had to do.
Wow.
You got to protect yourself, number one.
You got to put it in. You could have put it in a Ziploc and then brought it in for lunch. I could have. Yeah.
But you're saying there's no way you even would have made it that long.
It was one of those things, like I had a party. I just had so much pizza sitting around.
Was that a fairly recent party?
Oh, no, it's years ago. But either way, my point is, at a certain point, I was like, all right, I got to throw this pizza out. But then, like, as I was leaving for work, I was like, I got to put some liquid on here.
Because I'm going to come home and
eat this damn pizza.
Did you my trash pizza?
Were you tempted?
Well, no, I forget what I put something gross on it.
Okay, all right. What if you just dumped water, right? So it changes the consistency, but the next day, it's not going to change the taste. You know it has been in water, but now that pizza's still there. You think you dive in?
I don't know.
Because water, I feel like, you can give it a try.
But I wouldn't do water, because I know water's...
So the answer then is yes.
Coffee grounds.
Yeah, you put like soap, liquid detergent on it.
But see, coffee grounds don't necessarily deter me.
Yeah.
They're easy to kind of brush off. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know that I've ever eaten a coffee ground.
I mean, like sometimes you brew coffee, you get a couple
sediment in the bottom.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not the end of the world.
What is your I'm Not Proud food moment? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So a couple years before I joined the Army, I was managing a coffee shop down in San Diego. And my work was about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile away from where I lived. And on the way home, there was a sushi place that opened at 11:30. So I get off work around 12 o'clock or so, and I get back to my apartments. I'm right outside the gate. I see a bag from the sushi place, still wrapped up, the receipt still taped on there. It says the order was like 11:35, 11:40, something like that. So I think it's kind of mysterious. There's a random bag of sushi right outside the apartment gate. So I smoke a cigarette, wait about 15 minutes or so, and no one comes to collect it. So I think, hey, free lunch. Well, I decided to wait. I picked it up, put it in my fridge, waited about an hour or two, took it out, tried 1 piece or 2 piece, felt fine. Waited another hour or so, still felt fine. So ate the rest of the sushi. Well, about an hour or so goes by, maybe 45 minutes, and I got so violently sick that I did not leave the toilet for the next 36 hours.
Are you shocked that street sushi got
in San Diego, where the sun is beating down, 75 degrees?
In retrospect, I'm not surprised, but I was poor. I was managing a coffee shop.
Hey, dude, I get it, man.
I do.
When you're broke, you're broke. But
Sushi's a roll of the dice, though.
I feel like sushi and egg salad, right? You leave these things outside, they go unclaimed.
Yeah.
Like, there's no chance I'm eating this, man.
Sushi's a roll of the dice if you get it at a grocery store.
Right.
Let alone on the sidewalk.
Hey, man, there's sushi in a bag outside in the heat that no one wants.
That's great. What is your I'm Not Proud food moment? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.